The Energy Store, or the Eve of Black Advent. Prose poem about growing up in the Cold War. Lucius the Lush building the apprehension wall. Cheapo soiled the batfish, festering quietly on himself. Was Lucius unwavered? A world apiece, he said, a world apiece. They buildin' the big fellas, they aim them up, then we all snore and more snore in the happy sleep of the unthinking. Good-o, blabbed the batfish, but alas, a headpiece filled with straw. Lucius lushed in the guards at this affront. Bizarre, saith the multitude, and the batfish blabbed no more. There were many peculiar features. President Lucius sat upon the White House leaned to and fried in its juices. Where was Jefferson ever, wondered some? And on the other side of evil, President Dirk drank vodka for the Kremlin. Marshal Split was an advocate of radar. It was all Freud, Marx and Marcuse versus the Boston Dodgers. And the Energy Store grew fat. Fat, the feminist issue. Them big boys are phallic avengers, spread the goose-step gals. 20th century biggest beastie popped and plurped from the underbelly of Zeus, great white male, and before you know it, placenta breakfast in public. We shall not be moved. Such was the utterance. All is meat, Hedmes declareth. She got the gleam, she got the pride, she got the hungers and ate her daddy. Others turned to God. God sate down and created autobiography. Many mistook this for themselves. It was rumoured that Justin the Case found new life in the dentist chair, a vision smack splat square in the jugular of his subtle body, burning with the dizziness of a Tupperware Pentecost. Perturbed? Not Justin. 4 eye teeth, left stitches and a wicked look on the anaesthetic lady later. He knoweth the Lord, indeed, he heareth hallelujah. Let's chicken Kiev to cinders, he preached, for their power is at hand, and Jesus cometh. This was all once potentially inside the Einstein skull. If I stoke the nucleus and split the difference, but be nice to the starboard fuzzy wuzzies, no one will hold me against it but be a great human, was his plan emerging. It is likely, he conjectured, that I will one day say, bang! I should like to be a genius, thank you. But Power Boys grabbed the Einstein skull and slipped the astronaut in. See anything? Shattering, he announces. The world is round indeed, but 4 billion people cling to their rectangular TVs. Then say something for the cameras, Buck. Grinning. I know the theory of relativity and drink Coke the real thing, he replayed, quivering in the video of vastness. But after landing he say far out, and joineth Justin like they all did, and praise the flag, God plays no backgammon. Right stuff. America was proud. How do, Starman, said Justin. Are you not born again by the miraculous skullscape? Confessed the Starman. Major. He also said, I have seen the truth and would have hand-grenaded Lenin back in the Ford age. It was known to Lucius the Lush, way above, of course, that Buck was a hero with 1,000 faces for this and was decorated. Unbeknownst, though, the thirst for terror and threat to summer honked from the billboards to the whole of 1972. Finally, after a total collapse in confidence, note what Lush, the batfish, admitted the people's militia, and all crawled snakily back to their colleges of love. Above all, the best minds of their generation made buckets. Nose candy snowed up the market world. The East looked up. Bolivia wrestled the megabuck, and the Energy Store grew fat. It was then that Cindy Gramsci towered through the miracle wheel and with the horoscopic wail banged her mama. A girl. Autumn spoiled the avenues of honour. It was a cold day so soon that men from nowhere knew Jackie Macbeth still scrubbed the spots of presidential brain. Autumn spoiled the driven ambience. Autumn crooned through the cool air and wakened the drunken frost as people rumoured doom. It was deemed not prospicious to have borne a Cindy Gramsci, for autumn hung heavy and Indochina pulled its trigger off the grassy knoll, and a good portion of the earth stammered for innocence and youth. It was then that Finest Cut, the space dealer, glumped backwards as a boy, but even he was destined to meet at both ends. Cindy's mum, coming from a different era, was radical for a hula hoop even though. Cindy's day, however, turned with Metheglin Spice Rack, the Welsh pill, who staggered once like tarantulas in fondle, and everyone under 21 said, "Wow," with gum. Metheglin rocked the rock beat, inventing the drum, and as many said, the medium is the missile OK. Therein is the parable. If Asia is Cain, who is Abel? It didn't matter when Metheglin tapped his toes and plugged it all in. A zillion decibels emanate the energy store, and it shall be borrowed. Then African groovers convened in Harlem, and suddenly it's a movement. Hark the heartbeat, rock the ages, hock the hips, and Beethoven all the rolls over. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That bashhead was a bad boy and stole the creamy Cadillac of dreams in every theatre and sang the black way to Mrs. Cindy, embarrassed lately in her bobbies. Hey, Mum, where were you the day they fought them on the beaches? Did you refuse to mourn the death by fire? And where were you the day the music collided with the sky? Only, there are fragments, ending in the suburbs, cool with October and green backyards, never pondering the Hoover-matic and the bouncer net.